What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to another video, and in today's video we're going to be talking about Lady and the Tramp. So not too long ago I actually did a review for the latest live action 2019 version of The Lady and the Tramp with my buddy Chad Sabarin, and I decided, you know what, I want to do the animated film as well. So I decided to ask my buddy Tajaya from his channel BLACKTASTIC Media to join me for the original 1955 animated film Lady and the Tramp. And what I can say right out of the gate is I really enjoy this film. I love this film, and we're going to be hearing from my buddy BLACKTASTIC in just one moment. But for now, let's go ahead and start off with my general thoughts. As usual, you can find the link to any of my guests down below in the description box, so please do go give BLACKTASTIC some love and let him know I sent you. But let's go ahead and get into my thoughts now, like I just mentioned. I love this film. If you've been watching this channel for a while, I am a huge fan of Disney. I grew up huge on the golden era, the silver era, the Renaissance period of these Disney films, the stuff that I grew up with from before my time and during my time. It's just part of who I am. I spent most of my first 15 years of life watching these movies over and over and over and over again. So I'm pretty well versed in the Disney world. Outside of that, the theme parks, whether it's Disneyland, Disney World, just living here in Florida and being able to go to the parks often, that world, the merchandise, the music, it's just part of who I am. The video games, the TV shows, there's just so much about Disney that is just infused in who I am. During the quarantine, I was actually playing a game called Disneyland Adventures, which is literally a very simple kids game where you just traverse all of Disneyland and do various mini games and like have objectives like meeting characters and getting their signatures and taking pictures with them. It sounds goofy, and it is, but I had a blast playing the game, and that really just comes from my silly love for Disney. I love this world. I love the world of Disney altogether, and especially the classic films. And so going back and revisiting this movie, I watched it with my fiance. We were having a couple drinks, just sitting back, enjoying it as we were having dinner, and quite frankly, we were just having a blast. As soon as we heard the music and heard the dialogue and just heard the voice acting of this time, we both instantly were like, we just love this era of Disney. There's something about it that just, kind of brings back nostalgia. And maybe that kind of clouds my judgment of the film a little bit, I'll be completely honest, but I don't really think so. Quite frankly, I've always loved this since I was a kid, and sure, there's that nostalgic element that BLACKTASTIC does not have. But what I will say is overall, I do find it to be a charming good time. I've just always been really fond of films of this era, and just the feel, the sound, the music, the score, the soundtracks, just something about this era of Disney just speaks to me, and rewatching it, it definitely still did. This is a movie that I hadn't seen in like 10 years easily. And like I said, in the first 15 years of my life, I rewatched this movie tons and tons and tons, as well as the sequel, Scamp's Adventure, I believe is what that one's called. And yeah, overall, I really enjoyed this film going back and revisiting it. The animation is still top notch. That 2D 55 animation is amazing. And it's crazy to see how the animation from a film from 1955 is better than a lot of animation for films today, or at least stands out a lot more. Now, one thing that people are going to mention, and I feel like I have to mention right out of the gate, are some of the racial stereotypes that are in this film. If you watch this on Disney Plus today, there's a big warning right at the gate, kind of tell you about some of the maybe insensitive moments when it comes to some of the racial moments in this film. And quite frankly, I don't really think it's that big of a deal. Now, what they do in this film when it comes to that are just some stereotypical voices. Now, I totally recognize being able to recognize that and maybe think, yeah, maybe we shouldn't do that in the future. You have the older dog who's like the black old timer. You have the, Chihuahua that's a Mexican. You have this little Scottish dog. You have the two Siamese cats, which is probably the most notable one in the film. They have a very over-the-top Chinese voices, and the song that they have is very much, leaning into that stereotype. I get the criticism, I get the issue there, but quite frankly, I just don't think it's that big of an issue. And when I was a kid, and even today, I just kind of saw it as like a very diverse group of people. You have various dogs in this movie that all have different accents, some being different accents from America, some of them being like a Russian accent or a Mexican accent or a Chinese accent or black accent, like more, traditional stereotypical accents. But I never really saw it as a bad thing as a kid, and even today it just kind of seems like there's like a diverse cast. But again, I do get it. It kind of leans into more of the stereotype part of it rather than just having diversity. And again, I get the criticism, but it's just not something that I think is that big of a deal, where I see some people kind of trip out like this is like a terrible movie for that reason, and I just can't agree. Beyond that, we all know the story of Lady and the Tramp, right? You have this dog lady who comes from a privileged household. She's got a nice family, and they end up having a kid one day day, she ends up not getting as much attention, and due to some unfortunate circumstances, she ends up on the street where she meets Tramp. They end up kind of building this romance over the course of the film, leading up to the iconic spaghetti scene where they are sharing a bowl of spaghetti and you have "This is the Night" playing in the background. They end up eating the same string of spaghetti, end up kissing. There's that sweet iconic moment, iconic music, and overall, it's just a great time. By the end of the film, you have Tramp being introduced to the family via, kind of some traumatic circumstances, but eventually they kind of realize that he's a good dog. He ends up joining the family, and in a lot of ways, it's convenient. It wraps up pretty smoothly. There's a lot about the film that is implied rather than actually shown, but I really enjoy the film. It's quick, it's simple, it's a really easy breezy watch. It's not very long whatsoever, and it's just fun to watch. It's a nice, silly, good time from a different era of filmmaking, and I really enjoy, again, the animation, the voice work, just the story overall. I felt for the characters again. I was entangled in the story, and I was never bored watching it. And of course, I have to praise Barbara Luddy and Larry Roberts for playing the voices of Lady and Tramp. Just iconic voices that are in my head, so when I hear them speak these lines, it just takes me back to being a kid. Now that I've rambled plenty, let's go ahead and hear what my buddy Tajaya from BLACKTASTIC Media had to say about this one.
Damn you, Perez, 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 Perez. Yeah, man. My boy, Anthony Perez, sent me a nice long paragraph of a message on Instagram. I read through it, and we're talking about, we have another collaboration coming up. You might see it shortly next week or whatnot, but it was talking about that. And then in famous Anthony A. Perez fashion, he got me in the end. He says, in the meantime, I'm working on this, I'm working on that. I got your video, I'm doing this. Here's our next collab. Lady and the Tramp. I'm like, this mother... Okay. The 1955 classic. I've never seen this movie. As a kid, I remember seeing bits and pieces of it, like when they have like a Disney special to show clips of famous Disney movies, and the scene where these two dogs are eating spaghetti. They got big ass eyes. I was like, oh man. You gotta understand, my body was not ready for this. My mental capacity was not ready to watch this damn cartoon. I just got done watching the NBA playoffs. Game 4 between the Milwaukee Bucks and Brooklyn, right? So I was all hyped, all energetic, and I gotta calm my ass down to watch this damn Disney cartoon. Cause Perez, no, I don't be feeling Disney like that. And I'm like, I've never seen it. I got some time on my hand. Let me just get through this. Damn, this was painful. I'm like, Anthony, are you trying to get me back for talking about Star Trek on your channel? If it is, damn you, Perez, 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 Perez. No, man. This movie opens up Christmas, right? It's snow on the ground. Takes place in the good old days because they got stagecoaches and horses and shit, right? You got some cars in there, but 19, maybe 30s. I'm not sure what time frame this was, but yeah, buddy. The Mr. get the Mrs. a puppy for Christmas. This puppy is very animated, very cute, and adamant about, I'm not sleeping out there in that damn room by myself. It's scary as hell. I'm a puppy. I want to be in that warm bed with them warm bodies. So early on, you learn this dog is very tenacious, cuddly, and cute. And she is a beautiful dog. Puppy. In the span of 6 months, dogs grow fast. In 6 months, they're like, 3 years old our time, right? She's meeting things around the neighborhood like rats, other neighborhood dogs. And see, these people got a little bit of that money, a little bit of that cachet. So this dog is privileged, okay? Got a collar, So if she ever gets lost or anything, she'll be found and brought home, things like that. She's never been outside the gates, so she's privileged. Well, some time goes by and the mom gets pregnant and they're having a baby. Things change. You're like, all right, lady, you can't be, fucking around. We got a baby coming and you gotta be a good watchdog who got a baby. And I guess, full confession, I fell asleep on this movie. And when I woke up, some time had passed, and I'm like, fuck that. I'm not rewinding shit. I'm gonna just wake up and keep watching from where it's at. There's a baby crying is born. I guess the auntie came over to help watch the baby. I'm not sure, kind of a heavy-set white woman. And she had a couple of cats, some Siamese cats, right? And they were evil towards Lady, the little dog. And shenanigans happen. The auntie gets upset. She takes the lady down to the pet store to get a muzzle. We gonna shut your ass up, causing problems. And I think because, that's what people did back in the day. And after that, lady runs away. She gets chased by some alley cat dogs. She's in the hood now. And some dogs are chasing her, and this other dog, the tramp dog, follows them, scares them out. Actually fighting. This dog is fighting other dog and get him on his high legs and pushing other dogs with his paws. I'm like, this is okay. The movie definitely picks up at this part. When Lady meets the tramp, and I was wondering about that title. I'm like, damn, you got a Disney movie with the word tramp in there. That's, how you explain that to a child? Mommy, Daddy, what's a tramp? It was what your mama was before I met her. How do you explain that shit? It was clever. This movie is not for kids. It was made in 1955. It has a lot of adult themes in this movie. Yeah, this dog was kicking it with other dogs back in the day, just jumping from dog to dog. He was a ghetto dog. He had no collar. He had a new family every day. He just roamed the street, ate where he ate, slept where he slept. Some Italian people in his restaurant always kept him cool and fed, and giving him a plate to eat. He actually took Lady out for a date. Got a plate of food of spaghetti. They eating like civilized human beings. But things happen. He's showing her the ropes. They spent the night together, and they go chase some chickens and getting in trouble. Get shot at. I'm like, what is this? Boys in the hood? Dogs in the hood? They're shooting at these damn dogs. Oh, buddy. And then she gets picked up by the dog catcher. And Lady gets taken to the dog pound. Now, I gotta admit, this dog pound looked like Castle Grayskull or something. I mean, it looked like the haunted house where Dracula would be. This place was scary. And these dogs in there crying. You got dogs crying. You got 3 dogs singing and looking all sad. And I'm like, damn, this is really kind of clever. I gotta say, the animation is beautiful. 2D animation back in those days, untouchable. This movie is beautiful. And when that dog looks at you with them big ass eyes, Lady is a beautiful dog. I can't not deny. Well, the owners come get her out of the dog pound. She don't belong there. And that scene was a trip. Probably my favorite scene in the whole movie, the dog pound scene, because them dogs have some characters. Also, you have some voices voicing his people, and very, very racial, stereotypical shit. Yeah. I guess the dog that can't smell shit, is that a black man doing that voice? Because he sounds like an old black slave. Little Scottish dog, the privileged ones. But when she comes back home, they're saying, don't hang around that tramp. You're better than that. You're better than that, lady. So she turns his back on him, and guess who comes out and bum rush everybody? That motherfucking rat comes out. She's tied to the doghouse, so she can't do shit. Homeboy's walking off all busted up, his heart broken, brought a bone to make up. She said, motherfucker, get out of here. You abandoned me. Fuck you. So he's tramping off, feeling all bad, And this rat comes out, gets past Lady, and goes up in the house, in the baby's bedroom. Yeah, so shenanigans happen, there's fighting, the other dog comes. What happened? Oh, there's a rat upstairs in the baby's room. That dog comes in there. He busts through the doggy door downstairs and goes upstairs. They're fighting in the dark. And I gotta say, it's kind of intense. You got lightning striking, it's dark. I'm like, damn, is this Dracula or a dog movie? That part, I have to admit, had my attention. And then the auntie gets up, she sees the dog. She's like, oh no, you bad motherfuckers. You son of a bitch. Close the door. I got disturbed. Damn. Anyway, I'm not editing that shit, you know? I'm gonna keep going. Where was I? Yeah, she called the dog pound on that stray dog, get his ass up out of here. And the lady tells her friends, they chase the car down, they mess with the horse and the thing tips over. The hound gets hurt. Scottish dog was trying to help save the tramp dog. Make a long story short, they realized it was a rat causing all the problems. And it kind of, you know, made up for all the shenanigans and breaking up furniture inside the house. So it cuts to the next scene, and it's Christmas. It's been exactly a year. Tramp knocked up lady, and they got some puppies. 3 look like her and 1 look like him. And the baby's moving around, blonde hair, blue eyes, ass hanging out. The dog kept pulling on his little pajamas, and his butt kept coming out. That was weird. But they was taking pictures and shit, and the neighborhood dolls came over for brunch, Christmas biscuits from the auntie. It was, the movie was cute. I'll never watch it again. But, oh man, that first half an hour was tough, bro. I had a hard time watching this movie, but I made it through. Anthony, you got me. You got me. Yeah. Lady and the Tramp. Motherfucker. In the meantime, be sure to like, share, and subscribe to my man's channel. Anthony Perez, you are the best. You a sneaky motherfucker too. With that, I say thank you, and remember, it's just my point of view.
A big thanks to my buddy BLACKTASTIC for being here in another video. Loved hearing your thoughts, man. Despite the fact that you weren't crazy about this, I'm glad that you were able to at least say that it's a cute movie. I hope that you're able to gain appreciation for it over time as it sits in your mind. And if not, I guess that just kind of comes with the kind of territory of seeing a movie from 55 for the very first time. That's, you know, obviously intended for families and kids, and we're grown men. Me, I have that nostalgia. So going back and revisiting it, so much about the film still works for me. So much about it just harkens back to this early era of Disney that I love so dearly. So, you know, a big thanks to BLACKTASTIC for being here in this video. Always love having different opinions in these videos. Thank you for the laugh as well, my friend. And I hope you guys were able to enjoy his bit as well. As soon as I watched it, I was laughing my ass off because BLACKTASTIC just has this way of talking about a movie that maybe he's not crazy about, but still, you know, being able to talk about what works, what doesn't work, and just kind of bringing a comedic element to it. I'm also kind of peeved a little bit that you didn't stay awake for the whole thing and didn't rewind, but it's all right. It seems like you saw majority of the film, and it is a pretty short film overall, so once it started picking up, it seemed like you were into it. You also mentioned that the dogs were really getting into it when Tramp is defending Lady, and you're right. When I was watching that scene, I thought to myself, yeah, like this is a lot more brutal than I remember. But yeah, overall, a silly good time, a film that I do thoroughly still enjoy, that I think has a lot of heart, a lot of charm. There is something about the music, the animation, and the feel and vibe of this era that I just thoroughly enjoy. It's also got 4 directors, which one of them was actually not credited on the film, but that's just crazy. The fact that the film had 4 directors, I'm actually surprised that it turned out to be the classic that it did. But a lot of films from this era definitely, you know, were considered classics even if they're not as good. But this is one, going back and revisiting it, that both my fiance and I had a big smile on while watching it throughout the entirety of the film. And I definitely look forward to revisiting it again in the near future. I love Lady and the Tramp. I love Disney, and this was a good time. So definitely want to hear what you guys have to say. Do you like this movie? Do you not like this movie? Which is your favorite of the Lady and the Tramp films? Was it this one? Is it the sequel? Or is it the live action remake? I'm going to assume it's this one, but I'm very curious to hear what you guys have to say. So comment down below, hit that like button, subscribe for more videos, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye-bye.